Hey, we're back for the last hour here. All right, so you go back home to your townhouse that you've been living in for a while now here. You rest up the day, having a fairly uneventful day, doing your normal stuff that you would to break out the rest of the night, going out, getting a little blood, kind of things like that. And the next evening comes, and Dawn, you're going to get a message from Lucy. That'll be like, heart thing, like, hey, I think you guys could come visit us. You should ask Samuel for information. We can party while the rest of the boys talk. Samuel,
Okay.
You're going to get a message with an address to
Yeah.
head to.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we've got a trip to make.
All right.
I've got a party to go to.
Yes. So,
Party.
Hashay, come party with us.
So
Do it.
I assume you're just going to drive out to the location that's sort of been specified for you. And the fact is, if you drive out to that spot, it's just like the corner of two streets in like a suburb area of London. And it seems kind of like innocuous until coming up and knocking on the window is Fieldings. Hello. Hi. Thank you. Yes.
Hello, Fieldings.
Okay. So I'm to give you these. Excuse me. He's gonna kind of like walk around to the driver's side and like open the door and start squeezing into like where Samuel is. He's like, excuse me. Pardon me. Okay, here you go. He's like giving blindfolds out. I'm supposed to do this. I don't know if it'll actually work, but just please put these on and I can take you where we need to go.
Makes sense. Security being what it is.
Exactly.
All right.
Let me just, he pulls something out, he, like, kind of puts it down on the dashboards, he, like, presses some buttons on it. This might work. Okay, great. So...
I'm gonna type.
You should,
I'm gonna type.
probably turn off your cell phones.
Yes. Just one moment.
You have no signal.
I know.
I
Or
do.
rather, I'm not surprised. I'm gonna type. Wick directions ? And show it to Samuel, and then turn it off and close it down.
Yeah, I'll turn mine off, put the blindfold on.
Okay.
I'm waiting for any. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm putting the blindfold on.
Wait, Wick directions. Did he ever get back with my laptop?
Yeah. He did. Sure.
He did?
He
Okay.
went on misadventures and came back with it. Because he's Wick.
Yep.
All right.
Somehow a rat carried a laptop. It's fine. Don't
All right,
question it.
perfect.
You don't question what Wick does. Wick's a good boy.
I'm gonna... I don't 100% know what Nathan meant by Wick directions, but I imagine it meant give Wick directions to do something. So I'm just gonna kind of like squeak it Wick a little bit to sort of keep an eye out on us.
Roger, boss.
Let me know if something's going down.
I will. I'll give you like a little
Alright.
like smack in your arm if he does up something bad. But don't worry, I'll
Alright.
beat him up too. I'll beat him up good.
Good job.
I'll knife him. He pulls out like his
A
scalpel
little
head.
tiny rat knife.
He's got like the head of a scalpel in his hand. I shank him bad, boss. I shank him bad.
Just don't let them see that yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. What was I say? Is he like holsters it in a rubber band or something you put around his waist?
It's just hidden underneath his fur.
Yeah.
Alright, put my blindfold on and get ready. Phone off, all that.
Leslie will try and keep a vague idea of direction, heading, speed.
Okay. Sure. That would be perception. We'll say perception
thinking-
alertness. Because
I was thinking either alertness or investigation. I wasn't sure which.
We'll say in this case it's alertness because you're trying to use your other senses, like your hearing and like maybe some smells or something to try to like kind of and like what you're feeling from the vibration of the car to try to adjust stuff. Okay, you'll get some idea of the kind of direction you're heading, but it's still going to be like a little vague. I'm going to say it's not perfect.
Just like an idea of where we head.
You feel like
rough area.
You're gonna feel like from the direction you were facing and like all like the turns and stuff he made. I'm gonna say you think you're fairly certain you're heading northeast of where you were. So it seems like out of town at that point in time, but you're not sure how far out of town and where exactly you're going to.
Am I able to keep track of roughly how long we've been driving for?
Sure. You drive for about an hour.
Okay.
So
I'll
probably
keep that tucked away.
Definitely out of London traffic and stuff, because it's still early evening, so there's still plenty of traffic to go through. Anybody else trying to do anything like that?
Oh yeah. It's gonna go terribly wrong. Let's try.
I'm putting all my faith in Wick.
You're just like hanging around. You probably have like,
Tried.
you're having like a
There's
conversation.
Don. 1s and 10s.
As usual.
All right. Eventually, though, Fieldings will be like, "Okay, great, we're here. So everybody, blindfolds off." As he like kind of like picks up to hit the thing again, as you see him kind of like, oh wait, I don't need this one anymore. Okay. Yes. All right. Excellent. Give me a second, folks. I am getting a phone call that I cannot ignore, so I'm going to mute the stream, but not you guys. So you can hear me.
All right, so, real
time
time
to say
now.
terrible things about our DM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, oh no, yeah, nice.
Play that funky.
He's got AirPods in. He can't hear us.
Yeah, no, it's. I'm trying to figure out like how fucked we're gonna be right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how you're gonna fuck the shadow demon.
Leslie is deeply uncomfortable with everything that has happened in the past like day.
Yeah, like the blindfolds. The blindfolds make sense. I don't like it, but I mean, he's very very proud of it. That's fine.
Yeah.
To be clear, we did bring our guns with us this time.
Yes.
Yeah,
like not
in my jacket.
So like when you're kind of let out as your car seems to have parked in front of a very large house of some kind. There seems to be like very gothic architecture here. There's like 4 quite large dogs that seem to be kind of like guarding the entrance that as like Fieldings is kind of like moving up. They kind of like seem to be kind of growling at the lot of you, but like Fieldings be like, "Come on, down. It's okay. They're friends of the bosses."
Can I say nice dog things to them?
Sure.
Good dogs.
We
there
are.
You go.
If you mess with our master, we will eat you. Eat you.
Don't eat me. Eat me.
Don't mess with our master.
We won't. We're cool. All right.
you're like ruff bark ruff. You know, I always find it funny when the master does that too.
I was trying to help calm them down. They don't like me very much.
I don't think they like anybody other than the master, and maybe me a little bit, and Miss Lucy. They like Miss Lucy, but not me a little. I think they see me as below them.
Do you guys have a crush on Lucy?
Master's lady friend. Good. Master's lady friend's good.
Well, weird master's other friend. Yeah, I'm negotiating with the dogs right now to.
Everyone in building. We guard building.
Building's good.
You also noticed at this point in time they were not chained up. They were just kind of hanging around here.
Fair enough.
Is there like a large fence around this property, or is it like a normal low fence?
You cannot tell because there's nice trees and like grounds around this place.
Oh, okay. So we like drove in and up and right to the house.
Yeah.
So
It
looks like we're on like an acreage or something.
It's a large manor.
Yes, it looks like a old
estate.
English manor. Yeah.
Okay, I see. All right.
Fieldings will kind of let you inside. We have to go talk to the master first, but I was told by Miss Lucy to inform Miss Dawn that after her business with the master is the boss is complete, to go meet with her, and I will take her to it, while the rest of you can have a sit down with the master, I guess, or I can take you home. I don't know what I'm supposed to do yet.
Mm-hmm. By the way, did we get a message from the prince?
Yes.
Evening?
Yes, you did. With kind of like the message, you did get one from Helena that just says, "Go along with him." That was it.
Okay.
Goody.
Great.
All right. You'll be led through the nice building, which is definitely very like classic. It looks well maintained, into a kind of sitting room where you can see Alistair kind of like looking through a newspaper at this point in time. He's like, "Oh, yes, excellent. Fieldings. Go make sure everything is taken care of. Well, it seems as though Helena was as reasonable as I thought she would be. So if you're good to go, I am good to go, and we can get this show started. Did you bring the objects that I can check them out then, too?"
Yes.
Excellent. Then why don't we get your side started, and I can take a look at your stuff afterwards.
Fantastic.
Follow me, if you would. He'll lead you into another room where he will see like this, what looks to be, what best would be described by any of you who would have any kind of possible like connections to popular culture, a sorcerer's circle kind of embraced in the ground with like candles. It looks like this is in what would be the ballroom, with like a number of like little incense and stuff.
I'm gonna nudge Dawn and be like, "Where's the party?"
Party's afterwards. We'll go in a minute.
You see, my sorcery deals with connections to spirits in the land, and the fact is, we all have in ourselves a spirit to a degree, and what I can do is bind a spirit of this land that I am now connected to you. Basically, it watches the words of your mouth. Should you mention the wrong things, the spirit will show its wrath upon you, and then return to me to inform me what you have done. It's simple. I am binding a spirit to each of you.
What else does this spirit do?
This spirit in particular would not do anything. I would have to summon a completely different spirit for something else entirely. That is the nature of the codonic rituals. Different spirits have different jobs.
And this one would look specifically for a certain set of words said in a certain way.
More information to be shared. I will bind it in a ritual that I will, as I complete the ritual, mention to it what I do not wish to be revealed. In this case, it'll be information pertaining to my true name. So should you share information that would be obvious to that? Now, there's always subtlety. There are always things around you that you may or may not know yourself that may hint at these things. And that is allowed, if you do it indirectly. But these spirits are pretty good at telling when someone is being subtle. Not perfect. So you might get lucky if you try to be tricky with them. But I do warn you, you might not be. And I would not want to test it if I were you. It won't kill you what they do to you, but it will hurt like the dickens, and I'll know.
And is it able to report other words?
Unfortunately, no. Or should I say, fortunate for you. These spirits are
Nice.
specifically bound for this one job and one job alone. It's like,
Although-
it's
Although,
like,
if any of us do, for whether intentionally or unintentionally, break this geese, they will return to you to report.
that it has been broken. It's more that I will know that they have left you.
Ah.
I'll be
I have a
aware that the
question.
ritual will break.
Mm.
Can we say these words to each other?
Yes,
Okay.
each of
Okay, I
you
get
is connected together. Now, granted, if you should be observed without your knowledge, that will also not break the geas. It will be more like the spirit will use your senses. If you know you are talking to someone that is beyond yourself, then it will know that you are talking to that person. So as much as you see, it sees in a way. Or senses, I should say.
Hmm.
So yes, if someone would secretly observe you and, well, report on that fact, you'll be fine. This is just then you being foolish enough to be tricked anyway, which will probably get you killed. But that's beside the point. Anyway, let us complete the ritual. He'll take care of the ritual, and it will take about half an hour to complete. And after which, like, it will look like kind of almost drawing from deep within the ground are these kind of like almost like wispy spiritual forces that he will then like say something into a language that none of you recognize, though one of you may feel that he's heard something similar. Leslie spent a lot of time in Eastern Europe and a lot of time with, you know, Soviet connections. This it's the language sounds very Eastern European, but you are not sure what language it is. It's not one that you have encountered before.
Does it sound like a dog barking?
Am I able to pick out specific words for later use?
Sure. You can pick
Alright.
out a few, we'll say.
Okay.
Afterwards, each of these kind of wisps will kind of swirl around the room, and one of each of the four will enter into you. Afterwards, he's like, excellent. Business is taken care of. Now we can complete our part of the transaction, and I can let you know what I'm seeking of. I'm technically seeking my sword. I'm seeking 2 swords, really, but I only require you to retrieve one. It is known as the Sword of Dracula.
Hmm.
It was given to me by my father, and it has one real purpose: to slay a demon named Kupala, which I was unable to do.
Presumably unable to do the first time, and you intend to try and do it again.
I started a ritual many years ago, which involved, let's just say, some unsavory materials, in order to get Kupala in a position where I might use the sword against it. Kupala is technically sealed deep beneath the lands that you would call Romania nowadays. It's almost one with the earth in that area. And it is
What
a
manner
power-
of demon would this cupola be?
one that would bring darkness and death upon the world itself if it were to be released.
Excellent.
It is something of a horror, and it is something of a danger that I would wish to finally remove from the equation.
That makes sense.
I'm sure if you hadn't guessed, though, by the name of the sword, allow me to properly introduce myself. Vlad Tepes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to ask if the sword was made for Dracula or by
Technically.
Dracula.
Technically, it was forged by my father. And it was forged with the help of Ravnos back in the day. See, the sword was originally forged with his help in order to slay Kupala, but it was granted many different powers, and is very powerful. I sense that lately there are many demons coming upon this world, and the need of a demon-slaying sword may be needed. There's a second sword, though, one that also might be helpful. I do not know if you can come across that one in your adventures, but my sword was lost when my previous home fell to Sabat interlopers, and I was forced to leave.
Did they carry whips?
Did they carry whips, did you say?
Yep.
Specifically leather or chain?
I'm unaware. It was more I was forced to abandon my traditional home, at least for now.
Understood.
So, you can start there for looking for it, and that is one that would be very useful to find. But there's another thing you can do that you can help me out with. You see, I have a feeling that someone took it away from there. I've sent some people to my home, and it has been looted to a degree. And I'm thinking that there's another that has taken it, and perhaps you can look into that person and see if they do indeed have it. You see, and I, for one, know they're still alive, which is great.
All right.
Well, are you aware of what has occurred to the Ravenos?
The Ravnos, I believe that's a guild from the famous card game.
Unfortunately, that is not what I'm speaking of, but clever as it is. You see, it was about 20 years ago today that an antediluvian woke up. The Ravnos antediluvian.
It exists.
Today.
About 20 years.
Okay.
It was the first proof of something of that power exists. Well, the fact is, we'd always suspect that something of that power does exist, but the truth of the matter of it, that's a question.
It's being rather quiet for an antediluvian.
Well, when it awoke, it was not in a state of sentience. You see, the fact is, we have connections to certain antediluvians that we already know technically exist. Giovanni, Tremere, they diablerized antediluvians and took their powers. So we know that at least the third generation exists, but to what degree of power and what degree they actually have influence, and if they are truly the third generation, those are the questions that Naudists ask. What the truth of the matter is. If Caine was real, if vampire history, what amounts to it? So we know there is a third generation, as they would speak of it. At least those that have a sense would suspect it. But Ravnos woke up and, well, the battle that ensued was epic and resulted in much destruction. But as far as we know, it was destroyed. Unfortunately, something strange happened. The exact details of that destruction are slightly privy, beyond some of my knowledge. But when it died, when it at least was destroyed in the way that we know it could be destroyed, something happened to the Ravnos. They lost their minds. You may have encountered some here and there, but the numbers are far smaller than they used to be. The majority of them died in a frenzy, killing each other. That's why even now, they're a clan that's on the outside. And even more so, I feel like it is almost a respect to them. Anyway, an old friend of mine was one of the elders that survived that. Dracovin. She was a friend of both my father's and me, too. She was known to be Russian originally, or at least the lands that were once Russia, long ago. The lady, she's one of the few that survived what happened on that week. The Week of Nightmares, as it's called. For those of us that understand what happened when the Ravnos antediluvian woke up. Because more things happened there. But that's not for children such as yourself to know about right now. All the things that happened at that point in time.
I'm mostly glad I wasn't there.
I mean, it does pertain to one of you, at least. You, Samuel, one of your greatest, died that week. I'm sure you may not have heard of her, but she did. Ravnos Antediluvian, and one known as Baba Yaga. Those were just two of the deaths that occurred that week. It was a dark time. That was also the time that my sanctuary became vulnerable, and it was attacked by Sabat. I feel like some of the protective spells that I had were weakened, and I can only suspect that it was something to do with the powers that occurred there. Well, it had an effect on Cupola. Perhaps weakened its prison in a way, enough for it to lash out. And my own connections to the land allowed it to. The protections I had made weakened through the catonic sorcery I had done. I lost connections to the land because of it, briefly. Enough for me to be attacked. Anyway.
So,
you have to go to my castle. It is still there, and the thing is, it might be more of a tourist destination, but there are catacombs that were hidden by my Caldonic sorcery, which still be able to be accessed. I'm going to give you my ring. It should allow you into those places that were still protected. The sorcery wasn't broken completely, it was weakened. And it should allow you to search the place. See if the sword is still there, or if not, see if you can find any evidence that Doracine has been there. And then go find her. Because if you cannot recover my sword, there is a second blade that could possibly be important. She will know where it is. Anakurin. It was a sister sword. While mine was created particularly for my father, this was created particularly for Doracine back in the day. The Anakurin, it's different than my sword. It's not known as a demon slayer. But it is known as the Destroyer of Methuselahs. It's said that those that have that sword could perhaps have victory over lupines, or even travel to the realm of the dead for that one. I do not know the powers of this artifact that she once held. But if you cannot find either, you must find one of these swords. One will be needed in the days to come. I fear that if we do not act, more darkness will come. That perhaps that 1 week will not be the last. The week of nightmares will occur again. Now granted, it may not, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, if you would catch my drift there. As he kind of gives a wry smile.
Can I request another boon from you? Should be very slight in nature.
Depending on what it is, I can say yes. Why don't you give me what you want?
How much of the nature of our quest does our prince know?
She knows you're recovering a powerful artifact that could only be used by Kudonic sorcery. Now, that's a yes and a no. Those that use Kudonic can unlock its full potential. But even in your hands, it would be a powerful weapon.
Fair. The direction of my inquiry is more that, knowing that we are after a particularly powerful artifact, for you, I have no doubt that our prince will inquire more specifically as to the nature of our quest, and more specifically as to the nature of your identity and where we're headed and such. And if we are not allowed to tell her...
If the story comes down to it, I will confess to certain things which will put me in a position of not more danger, but a little bit of more worrisomeness with the Camarilla, at least to hide this, if you are successful. If you're unsuccessful, if you only are forced to find the sword of Anakuran, well, That one, you can just say it was a sword of Anacurin, which is said to have been in the possession of a powerful Ravnos. That was formed between a Semice and a Ravnos. For it was. I'll deal with them in order to fight demons. Leave it at that. But if you do find my sword truly, or perhaps even both, you can inform them that it was the sword of Dracula, and at very most you can let them know that I confess to be a child of Dracula. How about we say that?
That's fair. I'm more concerned with the phone call that I will most assuredly be getting later this evening, asking exactly who you are, and all of the other information gathering things that she always would like to know.
She'll probably be questioning it. You know, I get a lot from the old elder crew. She probably won't say much because she's a lot younger than back in the day. But if you really must know, I did indeed influence Mr. Stoker and have him write a story that's mostly true about myself. It was a fun little thing, side project. I would see what it would do to us all. Now the Camarilla complains because it's a breach of Masquerade. But, in a way, it ended up in the best for us. Wouldn't you say? It's more legend that vampires exist out there, but they're all fairy tales and stories. So, I think I should be thanked. But there are very few of the elder kind that would really thank me for that one there. Yeah. You know how old folks are, they don't change their minds very much. Now, your Helena, she's young enough to understand it too. Much as long as yours. She hasn't had that existence before the stories. Anyway.
Fair.
I must warn you, though. The sword itself, though it slays demons, it is made to do more than just that. It can easily slay and destroy any supernatural being. So be careful with it. And be careful of those you strike with it. It devours the essence of those it slays to get more power. It would be similar to one of us eating another. Think of it that way. The point of it was to absorb powers of minor demons, which I have done some of with it, and to use that power against Cupola. Sort of turn its own abilities against it. I never had a chance to truly use it until Durga Sin told me about the use of it. I regret that I did not act on it sooner.
Alright. So essentially we should
help me eliminate a powerful demon that would, well, at least make sure that if something bad should happen or a demon worshipper decides to summon it, it won't be there to be found. Anyway,
Excellent.
Be on your way. Oh, I believe one of you wants to spend an afternoon with Miss Lucy and the other, my other Childa. They are very nice girls. Be nice to them.
I will. Is it alright if Samuel joins me? He hasn't had the pleasure of meeting Lucy yet.
If she accepts him, it is up to you. But that Lucy is an interesting woman, may I say, and it is up to you to deal with her.
Okay. Great.
Okay, Fieldings is going to come and be like, okay, so, I believe the master would like me to take two of you home, and, two of you will go see Miss Lucy and the others.
Unless anyone else would like to join us to party, we can always go ask Lucy. Not just Lucy, remember.
That's fair. Are there... no. I think I'll just go home.
Is Leslie here? Right now?
Not currently.
Oh. No answer.
Uh-oh. We may have lost Leslie.
He said be right back.
He said be right back.
Okay. We'll assume he'll probably want to go home too, which I guess Fieldings will take 2 of you upstairs and the other 2 to the car, give you blindfolds, take you home, and kind of then, I guess, come back in a taxi or something, or like get his own car or something. Well, he'll take you back to where he found you, and then, take his own transportation back from there with the hopes of then, repeating the same with others later.
Mhm.
Anyway, so Dawn, Samuel, you will meet with Lucy, who's going to be wearing like a scantily clad dress, along with 2 other women.
Nathan missed out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't feed on any of them. Or rather, I could, but I don't want to.
Yes. So you'll spend some good time with Dracula's girlfriends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, I think
I'm like a
Humber's back.
pseudo celebrity now. I'm like a pseudo celebrity. Me
Yeah.
and Dawn.
You can beam on yourself, but no one would understand it because no one would know what actually happened.
Yeah, I know Dracula. What of it?
I'm all the rage with him.
Except don't actually say that because the ghosts will eat my soul. Oh yeah, Umber, you missed out on the decision to come home with us
Mm-hmm.
or dance. I mean,
No,
go
it's cool.
home with him.
I'm gonna get Umber the phone version of Castlevania.
Leslie's intrigued.
Anyway, you'll have a very... I'll say it's like a very interesting time. Like, the fact is, the 3 of them are definitely hitting on Dawn, and I'm just gonna say Dawn probably misses it, and Samuel
Yeah, it
probably
goes
notices
straight
it. And so, like, Samuel's awkwardly like the 3rd wheel kind of here, and Dawn is not like getting along with whatever's going on here at all, like not noticing. I'm sure it's... Look, Dawn, you think you're gonna notice?
No. Oh no. Totally gonna go over Dawn's head.
So Samuel, like, he's awkward about it, but he also thinks it's really fun. Like just
Either
seeing
that
these
or
girls
he's
try
really
really
into it.
hard.
Yeah.
Oh, he's into it as well. Don't get me wrong.
This is gonna be the new top post on the Nosferatu Reddit.
Yeah, he thinks
How?
it's hilarious.
His
They're trying-
phone's
Snapchatting
off.
Nathan.
I have my
Oh,
phone
yeah.
still off.
Well, I mean, like, he can post it later on about, like, Dawn and the sexy girls that wanted
That's
Dawn.
a really good story
Mhm.
for like.
Where you just, like, keep everything anonymous. And, like, if anybody
Yeah.
read it and knew Dawn, they know who Dawn, like, who like, Lady D was or something. You'd, like,
I change all the names, so it's instead of Dawn, it's Fawn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of Lucy,
Very
it's, like, Doocy or something.
Yeah, Doocy.
She's a doozy of a girl.
No, he just renamed her Missy, so everybody thinks it's a Doctor Who fanfic. Oh
Anyway.
man.
You'll spend an enjoyable evening hanging out and drinking, like, probably who knows whose blood, out of little cups and stuff that they'll have nice. And Fieldings will come and, like, serve you and be incredibly creepy all the time.
Perfect.
Heck yeah.
You can probably find a couple of things out about him. You'll know that Fieldings has actually been with Dracula longer than Lucy has. He's an old crazy ghoul.
I'm gonna. Oh wait, I can't actually. I wanted to ask our boy if I should swap the information stuff for a straight up favor.
Oh no.
No.
You could probably get some information about it. Like, he'll probably talk about, like, he used to, work in England, and then, he met his master, and he had some good times together, and then he got broken up and ended in a very bad place. But he's very happy that
sorry
his
to hear
master... Yes. He's like, oh, yes, there was this vampire that would keep me alive, but he would also do things to me. I believe he was what you would call a Malkavian. I was in his asylum for some time. But I got out, and now I am back with my master. It's so fun to be back. You know,
Well,
there's not a lot of
glad
stuff
you're
to
doing
enjoy
well now.
in an asylum. You just sort of sit there and kept me as a prize.
Not many rats there.
Oh, the rats were wonderful. I don't
Oh.
have a chance to get out. You see, this place is very woodsy, and there's a couple of things here and there, but I don't get. I'm not.
Oh, I meant
I'm
not
the
many
gardener.
rats in the asylum.
Oh, not that came into my cell.
Hmm.
I think there was some out the window in birds. Nice little birds. I just was like, come here, little birdie, birdie, birdie. Come here, little birdie, birdie, birdie. I just want to show you something very nice, little birdie, birdie, birdie. Something very nice.
Did you ever catch one?
Once, I showed him something very, very nice.
I'm sure you did.
My teeth are lovely this time of year.
I have this nice stomach that would like for you to be introduced to it.
Oh, so he's into. No, I'm not gonna go there. Never mind.
Thank you. Anyway. Hey, you'll have an enjoyable afternoon of awkwardness and not awkwardness, so... And then you'll be... Or evening, late evening, and then you'll be taken to the same corner you met Fieldings at, and he'll try to drop you off after, blindfolding you. And Wick will be like, so, boss, that was a really nice place. That's some good cheeses there. Those dog guys were cool.
Wait, did you get into their cheeses?
Maybe? As in, like, no? As in, like, hide something behind your back that is obviously not hidden? No?
Well, you better eat it and digest it quickly before they find out about it.
And it's like just shoving it down his mouth. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, Master. Boss, I got nothing. Your cheeks, boss.
Alright,
Oh,
let's get
boy.
home.
So you're off at that corner that you kind of got here with, and Fieldings leaves. Your phones get back to be able to be connected to the anything, and then you're here again. But you don't see any sign. Did Nathan and Leslie wait for them, or did they go home?
I imagine
Heck no, we
I
went
went
home.
home.
Yeah, so like
You're
you're
just driving, sitting in my grossly boil-infested seat that I always sit in.
Rock,
Yep.
paper, scissors, you for it.
Oh no, I'll do it. I have backup capes. In fact, I'm fairly sure I have a waterproof cape in the back somewhere. I'll have to burn it and get a new one, but that's what these things are for.
Indeed.
I'm just gonna go pick them up then.
Should we get like a Lyft or an Uber or something?
Yeah,
I
let's
like
get
that
Uber.
option.
I'm not convinced. Well, I guess we don't have any say. If they don't contact us, then
Yeah,
Sure.
it's literally the two idiots of the group. No, I'm not necessarily an idiot. It's just I'm an idiot in a lot of places,
I'm just
except
an
for
idiot.
computers and stuff.
I can break things real good.
mm-hmm.
Just
Alright,
try and
let's see.
call a taxi or a Lyft, yeah.
Oh, they got the luxury Ubers. The like get one of
Let's
those.
get the best one. The best one.
Yeah,
on
we can put
Nathan's
it on
card, right?
Nathan's tab. Yeah, I
Yeah,
got his
okay,
card
yeah.
information. On
Nathan, what if when they open the door, we're just in towels?
I mean, I do need a shower.
Wait, is Nathan now hitting on Leslie? I wanted him, and
No, that was Leslie hitting on Nathan.
yeah, the other way around. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I wanted him and Samuel.
Can't even tell Leslie and Nathan apart. Shaking my head.
You've been, you've become one person now.
I'm the old one.
I think they're both the old ones.
Yeah.
Me and Dawn are the young ones.
Yeah.
Nathan's got like 30 years on me or something.
30
years.
apparent years, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Dawn is
we're getting one of
30.
those nice Ubers, the like big luxury sedan.
Oh yeah.
with the windowed separation between the driver and the back.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Probably for the best.
driver.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're much too popular for that now.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. But
I also picked up
you'll
a
manage to
McDonald's
all
on the way.
get back to your townhouse. And he did give you a bunch of information about the Book of Nod. So let me share what he shared with you about that.
Sweet.
Right. The fragment of the pages that you had, actually, he will reveal to you that this is, in fact, an old part of the book that talks about the fall of the first city.
Ooh.
It kind of describes what had happened a little bit at that time, and that if it wasn't for the Ventru antediluvian, perhaps the second city would have never been formed. And that it was Ventru who was the one that was supposedly one of the more trusted of the antediluvians, the third generations to Caine. As things fell apart and the second generations fell, there were a number of the third generation that did not involve themselves, but still wished to maintain order. Ventru was one of them.
Makes sense.
Yes. And for a time, the third generation were, and those that they had created, the fourth generation, were spread. And it does detail a little bit about how Ventru went to them, what was left of what was the third generations, and appealed to them to rebuild what they had lost. That in the process of ridding themselves of a curse, almost, that is, those that sired them but were not Caine, because it doesn't quite detail the exact reasons why they turned on the second generation, but does kind of talk about it there a little bit, that they would then need something that, should Caine return, would prove themselves still worthy. And that's kind of where it leaves off. He's actually going to, like, look at the tablet, though, and be fascinated by this. And he's like, this tablet seems a lot different. This tablet seems a lot... My accent went away for him. I had it for a second there, and then disappeared.
He slipped into Dracula accent for a
I was trying,
one
because I was trying
second.
to do this like slight southern drawl or something, or with it. I was doing with it. This tablet's a little different than I would think would have occurred. This is very interesting. I didn't think we would see something like this, and this is different than what you see here. You see, this does not talk about Caine in a way. There was an old legend that I heard about. And, well, you see, there's an old story of the first ghoul. One that's not a vampire, but yet part of a vampire. One of the old stories that some of the fragments of Book of Nod mention him, but not as much as we would like to, is Jabal. Jabal was known as the Master of Servants. He
was the master of what?
Servants. He was the only ghoul ever created by Caine, apparently. Some stories say that he was as powerful as one of the antediluvians, because he had the blood of Caine in him. He was the most powerful of the children of Seth. But when the first city fell, when the chaos that ensued after the antediluvian's death, and then the deluge occurred, most of his stuff is lost. This tablet actually hints at something that may have happened to him. It says here that Caine saw that he would once again be needed, and if he wandered the world, he might be lost. So he granted to his most trusted assistants a amount of vitae to guard over for all time, where one drink may sustain him for centuries. that he may use it to maintain himself while keeping it sacred and safe. Now, I'd heard about a story about this. An unsubstantiated claim that Jabal still guards a portion of Caine's blood somewhere. Now, stories mention a couple of places like Egypt and stuff, but if this is true, interesting. I can look into this more if you want. This tablet is something of incredible importance. There's symbols on here that I can't translate yet. You can go back to Helena with your information on the Book of Nod, but I'll have to keep looking into this tablet here. You bring me the sword, or at least one of the swords. If you get both, that'll be real great, but at least one of the swords. He'll kind of chuckle to himself. Then, maybe, just maybe, we can help you out. For now, though, you probably need a little rest. I mean, you've been hanging out here in London how long now? And I believe I have a few things to prepare before sending you out that way. I'll have to get in contact with my contacts in good old Transylvania that are still there. I don't want you getting in trouble getting there right away. So I'll contact you in New York when I've arranged things that at least you can get into my castle safely. And I think
sounds lovely.
I think with that, we'll actually end, because at this point in time, you don't have much else to do than to head back to New York and rest up for a little while.
God. Oh.
Yeah. This part of the tale became a lot longer than I thought.
This was all big lore dump.
And this was a big lore dump. Yeah. But now also, Nathan knows where the tablet actually came from, and who actually had it before, and who was looking for something like that.
Yeah, that was... So the Kai Institute wanted that, right?
They wanted what he had found, and this was part of what he had found.
I'm trying to remember all the stuff that we learned about them way the hell back when.
They seem to be a group of individuals from like certain sects of different supernatural groups. There was a vampire group which seemed like the Harbingers of Skulls, which the Harbingers of Skulls are divided. There's a portion that you managed to get the lore dump from them, that there's a portion of them that have joined the Sabbat, but there's also a portion of them that are kind of freelance. They're a clan that's kind of split, but it looks like one of the groups of them have joined with them. There was one of the groups of mummies, which are the kind of the keepers of secrets, or the immortal. I'm gonna forget what they're actually called. They're like there's mummies, but they're like
Kiri Hobby.
Kiri Hobby. Yes, thank you. Well, I'm gonna forget what like mummies are actually referred to as. You learned about the progenitors from the Technocratic Union, and Pentax was involved, and the Black Spiral Dancers through them.
Ah, yes, of course, yes.
Okay, Black Spiral Dancers. Best way to describe them is evil, corrupted werewolves.
Okay.
The horrible things that the werewolves fight back, known as the Worm, which are all about decay of the world completely. Some of the werewolves fell to that and became Black Spiral Dancers. Yes.
Awesome.
And so they are involved with a corporate group which called Pentex, which you recognize that their symbol was in amongst that like combination of symbols. I talked about the Harbingers of Skulls a little bit. The Harbingers of Skulls, Leslie, you might be worried about them more because the Abyss is in the Shadowlands. It's a certain portion of the Shadowlands. The Harbingers of Skulls came from the Shadowlands, according to rumor. Granted, not the Abyss, but the Shadowlands are oftentimes referred to as, like, the afterlife, in a way. So, I mean, basically, think about it this way. The Abyss is like a version of hell, and you're tapping into it. Okay? Congratulations.
Yes. It's very fun to do, by the way.
Oh, actually, before we leave, I want to pull out that coin and ask him if why he recognized it.
He says, I actually did not see that you had this coin.
Yeah, I that was the first thing I pulled out that I flipped among my fingers.
I saw you were playing around with the coin, but I did not have a chance to get a good look at it.
Ah.
When you're flipping around your fingers, you can't... If you're not careful, you can't quite see it. And at that point in time, I was paying more attention to you than it.
Ah. Interesting. Well, I'm curious what you know about it.
Thing is, this is a coin that would be much older than most that you would find. And the reason that an elder might be interested in it, well, you can see the kind of mid-seam here in the middle of the coin. You see, what this coin is very interesting here. It's technically two coins fused together. I do not know what caused this or when it occurred. On one side, we have a design that, well, it harkens back to some ancient symbolism of the first city. So I can only guess that maybe this is either an actual case of it or a recreation of a coin of the first city. On the other side, second city. He'll kind of flip it around for a second and give it back to you. You were given that for a reason, and I'm sure that Helena recognized that it was old. And she might recognize the second city symbol on the back, meaning that it's supposedly of the ancient city that most of our bloodlines originated from, or at least according to legends. And even as someone that does not quite believe all the stories, there are still common threads to our own ancestry that you cannot deny. And it seems that most of us vampires came from where most humans' civilization came from. As they rose up, we rose up. So, whether or not you believe there was a true second city or not, this does harken back to connections to ancient groups that were connected to it. And being an actual artifact means something. So there's more to this coin than I can understand. But keep it safe for now. You might need it. Perhaps if I get a chance, I would love to study it more. But I digress. I would not like to impose on you at this point in time. You're going to be doing such a great job for me. And he's kind of take you like over under his shoulder, kind of like, and getting that business done is the most important thing right now. All right.
It certainly is.
Is there anything you want to do at the townhouse quickly before we going? Are you saying your goodbyes to Candy? What's going on?
Oh, she's coming with us.
When you say goodbyes, first of all, I think Dawn needs to figure out what she's doing with Charles.
Oh, I'm bringing him with me.
How's that going?
Oh God, we'll figure out.
I just leave him?
We'll figure out
how.
how.
I could give him to Lucy. So we,
as a parting gift.
Yeah.
Have this ghoul I made. He's yours now.
It's a part of me for you.
Okay, yeah, all right. You can give the cop ghoul you made to Lucy, and she probably has more abilities to do stuff to him than you.
She might enjoy it.
He's very strong.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, she probably has some kind of dominate. Yep, okay. I just had to confirm, because I have Dracula stats, but I do not have her stats.
His harem?
No, well, I don't have her stats. She's the only specific one of his harem that is actually mentioned in vampire lore. Because
yeah, that's
it's-
kind of what I thought.
she's the Lucy from the book. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dracula's wife was into me.
Yes. One of them.
And it went right over your head.
Yeah, I'm gonna realize on the flight, like, oh fuck.
I could have hit that.
No. Anyway.
Yeah,
Text her
I'll
every now and again.
So.
yeah, I'll tell Candy that I might be doing a bit more traveling in the future, and I noticed her efforts in London and wondered if she would be interested in a job in the States.
She'll probably think about it for a while and then decide, as there's probably like something weird going on with good old Frankie boy. For various reasons that, you set up. Poor Frank.
Oh, poor.
Oh yes,
I don't care.
Poor Frank.
So she'll probably
Poor-
be
I
willing
don't
to come
give a
along. Poor
So
Louis.
nice.
Anyway.
Oh, I also on the way home I totally would have let Dawn know that they were hitting on her. Like they were totally hitting on her.
Yeah.
I immediately start texting Lucy, trying to hit her.
Which you're probably really bad over the phone about because you're text messaging it. Oh god. Mhm.
I'm gonna
Hey,
teach her how to
nice
use Skype.
boobs.
It's like, hey, nice boobs. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
Here, these are mine. Snapchat.
Yeah.
let's
Yes.
leave
It's
it
like a
here
really
as
bad
you
picture,
return
too.
to New York, and your next mission is being set up for you, where you got a sword to find.
Yep, we do.
One sword to find and one, oh geez, I wonder where that went.
And maybe a second.
Too bad we never found that second sword. Oh jeez.
Mm-hmm.
You totally want the thing that's tales of it that deals with destruction of Methuselah, single-handed victorious of ravenous lupines, and traveling to the land of the dead. The Anakuran is just it's more legendary than Dracula's sword. Let's put it that way. Anyway.
Not that any of our party has any interest in traveling the lands of the dead.
Yeah, gosh, no. I
no.
can't think of anybody who would.
No, not me either.
So, we'll leave it here.
Holy darn.
People will spend experience over our next break. We'll set up for things and be ready for the next adventure. And I will say, normally I kind of limited what you could spend it on, but you can now, we'll discuss it, but you can spend more points than you could before because it's been much longer. You've gained more experience, effectively, so you can spend it more freely. But thanks to everyone who joined us today. We'll be back next week for the start of the next kind of series of tales, which we'll see how long that goes. Why don't we give everybody give shout-outs to who they are, where they find you. We'll kind of go in the reverse order that we went in to introduce everybody. Sure, that sounds good. Did I end with Samuel or Leslie? I'm forgetting
Leslie,
now.
I believe.
So, Umber.
Hi, I'm Umber's Guys. You can find me at the links that are in chat right now.
Yay.
I stream, well, usually it's every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, currently on hiatus because my internet hates me. So, join my Discord. It's on my Twitch page, and you'll get an alert next time I go live.
Cool. Dunce.
Hello. Twitch.tv/Dunspace. You can find me in probably like an hour playing Darkside RP Atlas stuff because I'm addicted to it. It's great. Bigby Reed's got big arms.
Carpe.
And a big heart.
And a big heart.
Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, the Carpe DM. Just like Dunspace, except for I'm not going to be live in an hour.
All right, then.
But I am looking at running a Shadowrun game.
Yes. And of course, Jess.
I am Bubblegum Viking, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, and I'm gonna be playing puzzle games tomorrow.
Ooh.
I'm playing The Room 2. I
When are
played
you
The
gonna
Room
get
1.
on Darkside RP at Coward?
I haven't got a fucking key. I'm just like, I'm not paying for this game. Send me a key, and they're like, "Who are you?" So Yeah.
That sounds about right. For
That's bad, man.
I'm at
I
that.
usually get a key like 3 months after I ask for it. So it's like I'm not interested in this anymore.
And then, as usual, I am your storyteller, Tantus Naravan Dracovin. You can find me here pretty much daily. I don't know if I'm streaming tomorrow. I've been asked to help out with some family in the afternoon, so my normal Wednesday stream's not going to be there. If I get back at a reasonable time and actually feel like it after helping out for a bunch of people, I might throw a evening stream in. If I have time. We'll see. But if you want to see more role-playing, I'll be back on Thursday, though, for D&D at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Madison Land, where that's been doing a lot of fun things. Next week, of course, the same time at this place, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on next Tuesday, we're going to have more Legacies of Caine. These people are going to spend some experience and get ready for the next adventure. And then, I guess, if you're looking for gaming, Friday. Friday I'll be doing something. Not sure what yet. We'll find out. Yay! Anyway, see you folks later.
Bye.
Also wish me luck surviving the -35 tomorrow.
God, that's awful.